Valtteri Bottas has been the most unlucky driver on the Formula 1 grid this season. Well, okay, the second most unlucky. He's had several chances to win a race in the first 19 Grand Prix of the 2018 season, but for one reason or another, he didn't close the deal and get the checkered flag. However, there are still 2 races left this season, and the other 5 drivers in the top 3 teams have stood on the top step at least once this season. Heck, even Kimi Raikkonen managed to get a win after 5 years. So, will Valtteri Bottas join the party and get a win before the 2018 season ends? Let's find out. So to start off this speculation video, I have to say, in my own honest opinion, I feel that Valtteri Bottas is a very underrated driver. Before he joined Mercedes in the 2017 season, his tenure at Williams was really amazing. I mean, granted, he did have the Mercedes power unit in his Williams during the turbo hybrid era of Formula 1, but I mean, you can see from the current Williams that that's not always guaranteed success. But Valtteri did show that he had the talent and pace to do well in the sport very early on in his career, and he didn't disappoint with his tenure at Williams from 2014 to 2016. After Nico Rosberg's retirement announcement in the 2016 season after winning the championship, Valtteri Bottas got the opportunity to move up to the Mercedes factory team and join Lewis Hamilton, who at this point had already won 3 championships. So he had some pretty big shoes to fill, but he definitely did not disappoint in filling them. After only 4 races in the 2017 season, he managed to get his first Formula 1 victory at the Russian Grand Prix. And it shouldn't be much of a surprise that he got his first win in the Russian Grand Prix, seeing that the Russian Grand Prix has been basically his bread and butter ever since his career started, barring the 2015 race for obvious reason. And by the end of the 2017 season, he managed to rack up 3 victories, including dominant wins in Austria and Abu Dhabi. And I'm sure he was looking forward to continuing that momentum into the 2018 season. This would not be the case. First things first, he started off the season with a crash in qualifying at the Australian Grand Prix, which would see him start from 15th position, after receiving a 5-place grid penalty. Now, that wouldn't hinder him too much. I mean, he would recover to finish 8th, but could have been much worse. Then in the second race in Bahrain, he managed to chase down leader Sebastian Vettel to finish 2nd. Then in China, the script kind of flipped, where he was the one being chased down in the lead by Daniel Ricciardo. However, unlike Bottas in Bahrain, Ricciardo actually managed to overtake him in the closing laps to take victory. Going to the 4th race of the season, he didn't have any wins, but an 8th place and 2 second place finishes is still not bad, right? I mean, they're not. In fact, not only was he doing well at this point in the season, he was doing well enough to be fighting for the lead in the championship. But Valtteri Bottas' season would take a tonal turn for the worse at Baku. Leading the race after a very late safety car period, it looked like the 4th race would be the charm again for Bottas and to get his first victory of the season. However, a piece of debris would say otherwise. He ran it over, causing a puncture to one of his tires, and that would basically just kill his race. He ended up out of the points while his teammate Lewis Hamilton took the win. And it was at this point that Bottas was deemed the unluckiest driver in Formula 1. The next 3 races after Baku, he didn't suffer any outstanding incidences. He even managed to finish 2nd place again in Spain and Canada. However, at the French Grand Prix, the very first turn, Sebastian Vettel spins him out. Now, he had to make a recovery drive, luckily after only getting a punctured tire, but he only came back to finish P7. But then, next week, Austria, yeah, this was just hard to watch. He got the pole position, just like the season prior, where he dominated from lights to flag. And it looked like it would happen again, but then he suffered a very poor start, and then not only that, he had to retire from the race on lap 14 due to terminal mechanical issue. And it was this race that seemed to make Mercedes turn the focus from having both drivers winning to having Lewis Hamilton win as much as possible, especially since Lewis also retired from the Austria Grand Prix, dropping him down to 2nd in the driver's standings, while Bottas was 6th. And this would show 2 races later at the German Grand Prix, where Bottas had the opportunity to pass Hamilton for the lead late in the race, but was stopped by the team over the radio, thus spawning the wingman comments. True, he did finish 2nd again, but it was obvious at this point that Valtteri would not be allowed to go for the win unless Lewis retired from the race or until he clinched the championship. I mean, just look at the 2018 Russian Grand Prix. The less said about that, the better. So with all that backstory out of the way, the question needs to be asked. Can Valtteri Bottas win a Grand Prix before the end of the season? And personally, I believe he can. Looking at previous results at Brazil and Abu Dhabi for Bottas, he has had his ups and downs at both tracks, but he did manage to find victory in Abu Dhabi last year. And just like he was on track to do in Austria and Russia, I believe that he will bring that same pace from last year into this year. Also, just like last year, Lewis managed to clinch the Drivers' Championship in Mexico. So with only the Constructors' title up for grabs, mathematically speaking, if Bottas is leading and Hamilton is in 2nd being chased down by Sebastian Vettel again, I highly doubt that Toto Wolff will be telling the Finn to lie down and roll over for Lewis again, because I believe he's off your leash now, Toto. So I'm going to bank on Valtteri Bottas winning in Abu Dhabi, at least. I mean, looking at the results of FP2 for Brazil, he's showing that he has more pace than Lewis Hamilton, for once. So it may even happen in Brazil. I guess only time will tell. So, that's just my opinion, but I'm curious to hear what your opinions as well, and maybe even discuss them with you down in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like, share, and subscribe for more of these speculation videos from me. I may just not even stick to Formula 1, I may do some NASCAR videos, some Formula E videos, some IndyCar videos, and maybe even other motorsport videos. So, until next time, I'm Speedy Tempo, and I'll see you then. See ya.